So I recently had to take a personality test as part of a coaching program, and I found out that I am an ENFP. If you know anything about an ENFP, we love deep conversations, we're expressive, and we're looking for the best. We're looking out for the best in people. Sounds great, right? Well, not always. Because when it comes to handling difficult conversations, I've realized that my natural approach does not always work. So for the longest times, I struggled with having difficult conversations. So it's either avoid it, not talk about it, or when I confront the issue, I sugarcoat my words so much that my real point gets lost. I would over-explain, try to make the other person feel comfortable, and end up walking away feeling unheard. As I go through this process of growth, self-awareness, and all of that, I'm growing, and I'm also discovering ways to handle difficult conversations. Trust me, it's been a journey, but in this video, I'm going to be sharing what's helping me approach difficult conversations in the right way. First of all, using the right tone, framing my words well, and making sure that I'm actually being understood. One of the biggest things I've realized is that how you say something matters as much as what you're saying. So I used to think that as long as my intentions are right, as long as I have the right intentions, the right heart, the other person would understand. But if your tone is too soft, you would come off as unsure. If your tone is too emotional, you might come off as being dramatic. And if I'm frustrated, let's not go there. If you're about to have a difficult conversation, take a minute to check your emotions. Breathe and check your emotions. Ask yourself, are you saying what you're saying from a place of clarity, or you're just reacting? Another thing to unlearn is jumping into a difficult conversation without setting the right tone. Sometimes I might say something like, we need to talk. I've realized that how you frame the conversation determines how the other person will respond to you. So instead of saying, you never listen to me, speaking from the emotion of what's happening, instead of saying that, why not say something like, I feel unheard when this happens. I also try to find something positive to acknowledge first. If I'm giving a feedback, you could say something like, hey, I really appreciate the effort you put into this, but I have a few thoughts on how to make it better. Want to hear about them? So this keeps the conversation open instead of making the other person feel attacked. So these are things to actively work on when you're trying to have a difficult conversation. Pause before speaking. Make sure your tone reflects what you really want to say. Check your body language. For example, when you cross your arms like this, or like do that deep breathing, like those body language sends a message. So I'm also learning to listen more, listen and really understand what the person is trying to say. Thinking about my next response when the person is making a point. And another thing, ask questions rather than assuming. Sometimes, you tend to just assume what the person is saying. Meanwhile, you've not really asked questions. Ask questions to understand the message the person is trying to pass across. Ask questions to really understand the person's perspective about the matter, what the person is thinking, their thought process. Ask, because sometimes you can be wrong, and if you don't ask, you would not know. And it's okay for the conversation to be uncomfortable. Not every conversation will be comfortable. So, being okay with the conversation being uncomfortable. Not every conversation is easy, and that is fine. So I believe that, it's a journey, it's a process. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right. Another thing that has also helped me is asking the Holy Spirit, praying about it. Yes, praying about it, praying before having a conversation. The Holy Spirit helps. The Holy Spirit directs. The Holy Spirit is your helper. Involving him in that conversation will go a long way at the conversation going the way it's supposed to go and getting what is required from the conversation. At one point in your life, you would have to have difficult conversations. And for someone with my kind of, a lot of people have different experiences when it comes to having difficult conversations. Some people, find it easy to have difficult conversations, while some people struggle with it, especially maybe if you have a personality like mine, that kind where we see the good in people. We are trying to look out for people. We don't want to hurt people. We're trying to be nice. When you understand yourself, understand your natural tendencies, I believe that's one of the things that being in this coaching program has also helped me with. Now that you know yourself, then you know your weaknesses, and then you know the things that you should work on. If you have a temperament like mine, I'm very sure that you can relate to everything I said, everything I've mentioned in this video. So I hope these tips helps you to navigate conversations moving forward. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.